Hello and welcome to a video of me talking about how to install Active Directory, DNS and DHCP on a Windows Server 2008 R2 machine. Well, first of all, we have to do this for a school project, so I might not be as skilled as you want to be, but I do know the basics of how to set things up. So let's start off with setting the time zone. When you boot up to the machine and have installed it, you get this little window every time you log on, and it will give you a lot of nice features which you can use, an easy way to add roles, add features, enable stuff, but you can also choose to turn it off down here at the bottom. But when you start your server, if you didn't do it while installing, you set the time zone to the correct one. I'm from Holland, if you haven't noticed on my accent. Next up, we will change the computer name. Just change it to something very easy and, well, something easy for you to remember and what you will use. We'll just go with server 1 because, well, we'll be using one server. But if you want more, you can call the next one server 2, server 3, server blah blah blah. I accidentally hit enter. Okay, well, doesn't matter, we can still change it. I hope. Yeah, let's just keep it as this. Well, we're gonna restart it later because we also have to install some other things, and that will require us to restart as well. So, well, you can also start enabling the updates, but we won't do that because we're just running a trial version. Oh, we have to restart. We'll just pause it for a second and then we'll be back. Welcome back, guys, and we're gonna, after the short break, I'm gonna show you how to change your NIC card to a static IP address, because every time your server starts up, or, well, it shouldn't restart at all unless you have maintenance, but if you use the DHCP server and it will give you different IP addresses to your server, then a lot of clients will have a hard time finding the server, and you will get a lot of calls, which is really unnecessary. So if you just follow the steps I just did, going to the bottom here, then clicking on Open Network Sharing Center, and then you get to this screen, and then you go to change the adapter settings. Then you see a NIC card. You can double click on it and you can go to properties, and then you can go here to fill in the static IP, or you can just be like me and just go properties here, and then you're straight there. So we're gonna check which IP we got so far, because we'll be using that one. So if you go to the command prompt, you type in ipconfig/all, then you see a lot of nice text. We will be going for the default gateway, which is 10.0.2.2, and for the right now given IP address to us from VirtualBox, which is 10.0.2.15. So if we will fill that in right here, oh yeah, and your subnet will be 255.255.255.0, and then your gateway will be like this. Well, we'll be using this for now. Right now I will fill in nothing for my DNS because that's not necessary for so far. So just save it, click OK, and that's done for now. We will now go and install Active Directory role on the server, which can be done on the first page which you get up when you start up the server. You go to add roles, then you get a little screen giving you a lot of information, well, not a lot, but it explains you what this can do. So you click next, then you see a lot of services which you can install, but for now we will just be installing Active Directory domain services. If you click on it, you get a nice window which says, well, you also need this. So we'll just add requested feature, then press next. You get a nice explanation again, but I won't read it because that's boring for you guys. So just click next and install. And after it's done, we will be right back. Welcome back, guys, and we're gonna talk a little bit about what to do next after you installed Active Directory, because right now if you go to Start menu, Administrator Tools, you see you have a lot of Active Directory. Let's just show you real quick. If you go here and then Well, to manage users and groups, use local users and groups to manage users and groups. Okay, we press OK and then get to this part. Active Directory right now is not working because we haven't done the next step of installing DNS. DNS is required for your Active Directory to work. So in order to install that, we will use the easy way of using dcpromo.exe. Typing in dcpromo also works, but let's just go with exe behind it. If you start this will start the configuration of your Active Directory. So you can do advanced mode, but we will just leave it at this because we're just doing the basics. This just gives you a little bit of operating system compatibility, so if you're really interested you can read it, but we will just skip it. Well, because it's a real new server and we're not joining it to another domain, we will just create a new forest. The FQDN, the fully qualified domain name, we will have to fill in what is your company about, or if you're gonna use it home, you can call it home.local, or you can either call it kfc.local if you're working at KFC. I don't know. I don't know where you work. So let's just go with YOLO.local. So let's just use YOLO.local. So right now it's just checking for whether it's fully verified and if you can use it. So yeah, okay. Well, your force functional level, it then will you can choose what level it functions on. Let's say you use 2003, then here it explains what it will be able to do and stuff like that. But we'll just use Windows Server 2008 because most people right now are using Windows 7 or either Windows 8. A lot of companies still use Windows XP, and then you will be using 2003 most likely. But we're just virtualizing, so we won't be doing that. See, and here we go. Here's the DNS. You can untick it, but it doesn't matter because then your Active Directory just won't work. Because, well, you can see if you bother to read it, but I won't. So we click next, yes, and then, oh, well, these are the locations where you will store your Active Directory files. You can change this to wherever you want. It doesn't matter, as long as you remember the path where you've stored this. So we press next. This part is administrator password. So you fill something in that is easy for you to remember. So this also will be able, if you have anything wrong with your Active Directory and you want to restore it, you can use this to then restore it. So make a password that you will always remember and make sure never to lose it. Write it down. That's just one thing. Just write down what you are doing if you're doing it for the first time. So if, for instance, you configure DNS and you give up an IP, then write down which IP you give to it. So next time if you're installing the DHCP, which will be coming up next, you then know what DNS server you have to install. So we're just waiting for this, and then later on we will be back to install DHCP. So, and yeah, we're back, and as you can see, my server is now called YOLO.local. And for the people that know what YOLO stands for, ha, yeah, we're having a joke. So let's add DHCP onto the server, because DNS is installed, as you see here, with Active Directory domain services. So, well, maybe I can show you real quick. Active Directory. I will also show you how to add users and computers as well, and create a few groups in there. So first we're gonna install. Okay, look, here you go. YOLO.local, and then you got all of these organization units, or the short term is OU. If you go in here, you get all of the basic server groups and users, which you get when you install it. But that's for the other part, what I'll be talking about after installing DHCP. So let's do it. Well, you go back to install Adderall, click on DHCP server, and then it will initialize it. Press next, next, And then here you can fill in IP. Well, it will give you IP address depending on how many NIC cards you've got in your machine. So we're gonna press next. Well, the preferred DNS, this will work, but we will be using the same IP address as our server. This is so that if you fill in 127.0.0.1, it will go to its own NIC card, and we do not want that because this is our DNS server, so it will go to this server. If you validate it, you will see it's valid. So let's press next. Well, we won't be using wins because it's unnecessary for this stage of the installment, but if you really want to use wins, you can just add it. And what wins does is, if you go to the start menu and type //server 1, then, well, I got server 3, then / again, you get an option with the shared volumes. So you can see that might be very useful if you're on a client and you want to find certain shares. Here's our scope. We will just go in and add one. So if you do scope, we will do YOLO, because our server is called YOLO. And then our IP address range is 2.0.10.0.2. Let's say 100. And then the ending IP will be like this. And then our subnet might also be 255.255.255.0. So, and the gateway, well, let's fill in 10.0.2.2, if that is our gateway at the moment. Let's just real quick check that. Yeah, our gateway is 10. Yeah, so let's use this. Okay, you press OK, and as you can see, my name, my IP address, and range. So we press next again. We won't be needing DHCP version 6, so we'll just skip that. And here you can choose your credentials. So if you made a new user, you can use that user to log in, but it has to be an administrator. So you can't just regularly add some kind of user. So just keep it at this administrator account, or the customized administrator account which you create. So if you press next, then here's all the information. Do double check this information to make sure that everyone that you know what you filled in and it's the correct information. So if you press install, then we will be back in no time. So we're back and we will be installing well, not installing anymore, we will be configuring the Active Directory. There are two ways of going there. Either you go to start menu, administrative tools, and then you got a lot of stuff for Active Directory. You can go to Active Directory using computers to manage your computers and either your groups or yeah, computers, users and groups basically. So but there's also another way. You press on this button, which is standard stuff from Windows, which will then be there. So if you go to roles, and then it's really slow, you go to Active Directory domain services, then users and computers. You have to double click it or click on the plus sign here, and another plus sign, and then in here you will create another organizational unit because you want to manage your own. So let's just call it YOLO again. So OU is called YOLO, and in this OU organization unit we will create another organization unit which will be called YOLO Swag. Yeah, let's just call it YOLO Swag. And yeah, so in here this is just a completely new OU. So if you go to users real quick, and then you see here's the administrator account. Well, I want to have my own administrator account with my own credentials. So we're just gonna copy this administrator account and fill in my credentials. And then my login will be this. My password you will not receive. My password will never expire. If you make regular uses, you will most likely fill this one in. Users must change passwords at next logon, because yeah, you won't let them sit them next to you and be like, yeah, this I want this to be in password. No, they need to fill it in themselves. So let's just finish it. And oh, it doesn't meet the password requirements. So if we go back, then it has to have one capital letter, small letters, either a exclamation mark, at mark, those things. But let's just go back. So I got this admin user. I will drag it into the YOLO swag area and then press yes. So now this is an administrator account. If you double click it, you can then see I'm member of these groups. So this will then be enterprise admin, I'll be domain admin, and I'll be a regular admin. So I have basically every right I can do. So let's create a user. You press right mouse button in here like this, and then new, and you can create a user. So let's just say we got a Thomas in here, and then we got a his last name will be Mapplink, and then his logo we can make any kind of thing we want. T Dinkelberg or T. Well, his surname is really long, so let's just call it T Map, and then his password will be secret. So we won't use this, and we will set it on password. Let's just put it like this. And right now we got this user, and it's only member of domain users. If you want to add him to a group, you press add on that part, and if you type in only domain, it will check. And these right now are all your groups which contain the word domain. So it already is a member of domain users. You can create an admin if you want, but we don't want that. We just want Thomas to be a regular user. So if you press right mouse again, new, you can keep on creating users like this. But you can also create groups. And if you just make a YOLO.user group, oh, I made a mistake, so let's go back to, maybe I can edit that out. Yeah, no, I can't do it. Well, you got these three options. I want it to be domain local because we're not using multiple servers, but it doesn't really matter, it will still work. So right now this is my security group. So if I go back to Thomas Mapplink, member of, add, and then I will be YOLO, and then see, it found it automatically because it's the only one that has YOLO in it. So it will automatically add it. You press apply, okay, and right now Thomas Mapplink is member of the YOLO user group. And in this group you can then also say member of, and you can create multiple groups, which will then allow you to easily manage your users and give them permissions to do things in the server environment. So we will keep it at this and stay tuned for more.